Hi there everyone, Josiah here with Womprat Creations with another scratch build for you guys. This one is hopefully going to be fairly short. It's also going to be a little different. It's not something completely different, it's not one of those, but it's a little different from the stuff that I normally make in that this build does not take place in the Star Wars universe or even sci-fi universe. This is not really a science fiction build. It is a fiction build still. Today I am going to be building the Holy Hand Grenade of Antioch. That's right. For those fellow nerds out there like myself, you will recognize this as the hand grenade from the movie Monty Python's Holy Grail, that they use to vanquish the brutal rabbit monster that they encounter on their journey. And yeah, that's what I'm going to be making today. And I'm super excited about it because it's a fairly simple prop when you look at it. It's not too involved, but even though it's not a super involved build, I did see that film when I was fairly young growing up, and I remember it being so different than anything else that I had seen at that point that it stuck out in my head. And I will always remember the Holy Hand Grenade as just such a ridiculous prop. The prop itself isn't ridiculous, but the idea of it is kind of, it's very, very funny to me anyway. So that's what I'm going to be making today. And I'm going to be starting out with the base, this plastic ornament that I picked up from Hobby Lobby. You can get these in different sizes. This is the biggest one that my Hobby Lobby had. And it's really nice because they come in two hemispheres. I've kind of gone into these before. I've used them for other prop builds. For this build, it doesn't really matter that it has two hemispheres, because actually the first thing I might do, one of the first things I'm going to do is glue these together. But let's get to the build. All right, so the first thing that I need to do is, because these plastic hemispheres are meant to be ornaments, they have these this little loop on the top that you can use to hang this from something, but I don't need that. So I'm going to get rid of it with my flush cutters, and I've done this pretty much. I have not had a I have not used these plastic hemispheres for anything yet that requires me to use these loops that come on them. So I just always cut them off with my flush cutters, and it allows me to get pretty close to the actual hemisphere so that I'm not left with much finishing work to do afterwards. So now that those are taken off, I'm going to glue them together. Now, one thing to keep in mind when you're gluing clear plastic, super glue will fog up clear plastic most of the time. And so if you need your plastic to stay clear, don't use super glue. I don't need these to stay clear. I'm going to be painting this, so I'm going with super glue. And by the way, I finally picked up some Instaset, the kicker for super glue. So now I don't need to wait around for super glue to set, but the top of my super glue has set to the bottle of super glue. There we go. Okay, back on track. There we go. I have my two halves together, and I'm essentially halfway done with the construction of this prop. This is a super easy prop. Then the only other bit of assembly that I need to do is, because in the movie this is a religious artifact, it has a cross coming out of the very top of it. And so I'm just going to construct that out of some styrene tubing. All right, you guys, I have my grenade constructed, the base shape of it anyways. I have my cross on top, and I've given the entire thing a coat of gloss black. Now, for those of you who have been watching my videos for a while, you will probably be able to guess that this gloss black is in preparation for a metallic paint. This is going to be a little different because normally when I'm using metallic paints, I'm going for a silver-ish metal that I'm trying to replicate. Today, I'm going to be attempting to replicate a gold paint. Well, not replicate a gold paint, but replicate gold with paint. And that is just as hard, if not harder, than a good silver metallic paint. The gold paint that I'm using is all clad. I've talked about this before. I've used their aluminum paint, and it works really, really well, but it's a little touchy. So you have to be kind of careful when you're putting it on. You kind of have to brush it on very gradually and come up on the color. But I'm gonna see if I can get an okay finish with this on our holy hand grenade. All right, guys, I have my gold on here, and to be honest, this is not a great finish. Like I said, a lot of these metallic paints are really finicky, but that's okay. This finish, I was going for a better gold finish on this, but now that I'm seeing this on here, I actually like this more. I'm not gonna be doing any real weathering with this prop, but this kind of dulled down gold is actually much more in line with what I feel like. Let's get one thing straight. This is not a replica of the holy hand grenade that you see in the movie. The one that you see in the movie is like real beat up, and it's real hard to make out any kind of real detail. So I'm going for more of a idealized version, and because I'm not going to actually be weathering this dulled down gold is actually much more, I feel like it'll work better in that universe of Monty Python's Camelot, whatever that is. So I'm actually not upset at this, but just know that you can get a much better finish with this paint if you're more skilled than I am. But it's finicky. Sometimes you don't always get it right, and that's okay. But now for the most intensive part of this whole build, I have a bunch of beads, and I'm gonna be gluing them onto this. So I'm gonna be doing that for the foreseeable future. All right, you guys, my holy hand grenade of Antioch is done. I told you this is a pretty simple build. There's not much to this. I will say that these beads are the most annoying thing to lay down every single one of these beads. And I could have made this easier on myself if I had gotten some pre-strung beads. I don't even know if you can buy those. But just know that if you are going to do this, look for pre-stranded beads and just cut them to the lengths that you need. It will make your life so much easier. But I mean, as you can see, it turned out just fine. I am very happy with this, and I would say that I am ready to take on some rabid bunnies. Thank you guys for tuning in for another Scratch build. Until next time, I'll see you guys later. Hey, if you enjoyed today's video, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell right next to it. That lets you know every time that we come out with a video so that you don't miss a thing, and it really helps us out with keeping the lights on over here. Thanks, guys.
517 to scanner control. 517 to scanner control. 316, report to control. 5-3 to upper bay door. 5-3 to upper bay door.